Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am building a chocolate box cottage. So, back when I was first building this was the very first time that I had built anything in Henford on Bagley, and so for my very first build within this world, I wanted to build the most cutest, idyllic, charming, cute little chocolate box cottage that you can find in the English countryside. And so I then went on to Pinterest trying to find one of those chocolate box cottages that, ticked all those boxes. But there weren't really any pictures that really floated me boat, and so normally when this happens, it doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, I would normally then go to Instagram, trying to find something that would float me boat. But for some reason, that evening, instead of going to Instagram, I went to Google instead. And so I then typed in chocolate box cottage, which is where I found two online newspaper articles. One was from the Sun and the other was from the Daily Mail. Now these articles were both talking about how a British English cottage that featured on a Cadbury's chocolate box. Went, ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? Let's have a quick cheeky look, shall we? And so I clicked on the link, and it turns out this very property that I'm building for you now featured on a Cadbury's milk tray chocolate box back in 1978. And for those of you who have no idea what Cadbury's is a chocolate company that we have here in the UK, and Cadbury's milk tray launched back in 1915. And this property here is a 16th century property with 3 bedrooms, 2 of which are en suites, ooh la la, based in Worcestershire, England. Lilliput Lane Strawberry Cottage, which is a ceramic figurine, is believed to have been inspired by this very cottage. Lilliput Lane is a company that makes realistic miniature cottages based on realistic cottages from England and Wales. So when I was looking at all these pictures that these two online articles have handily, lovely given me, which was so handy dandy, it also gave me a picture of the layout of the house, which was great because I really wanted to stick to the actual real layout of the house. And if you are building a house or a home or whatever from a realistic picture that you found online, and you want to do it justice, you want to get it right, but you're finding the shape a little difficult to get your head round and it's not working out for you and you're getting annoyed and frustrated, if you can get the inside layout picture, I would definitely recommend building it from the inside out, because if you can nail and land the layout, that means the shape of your home is already done and you've got it good. But for this cottage, didn't need to bother with that because it is basically 2 squares or rectangles attached to one another with an extension popping out to one side. So that I don't really need to do that, but that's okay. But for some reason, despite it being a very simple shape, I had a lot of problems with the roofing. I don't know why, because it is quite simple. But I think I was just overthinking it, which is a problem that I've been doing quite recently and a lot lately. And I spent a long time on the roofing, way more time than I needed to. But chocolate box cottages tend to be thatched. The cottage that I'm basing this off has a thatched cottage. It has a thatched roof. Thatched roofs, they have a lot of maintenance, kind of. You need to replace them. I don't know how long, but every 10 years or so. 20 years, 25 years, I don't know. But they do need replacing. So you've got to be careful of that when you're purchasing a thatched cottage. But when I was doing the interior to this property, I was actually looking at a whole bunch of Airbnb cottages because my family and I would love to go away for the February half term just to have a bit of a break from London, see a bit of a different scenery, and to also hopefully meet up with our family. So I've been looking at a whole bunch of cottages, which was brilliant because that then gave me inspiration and ideas on how to decorate this cottage. and it actually reminded me that how there's a for some reason a lot of the cottages that I've been to for like holidays in the UK, when growing up, a lot of them have like the weirdest decorations. It's like, why are they here? They're so weird and quirky, they don't make sense. But for some reason, a lot of cottages that I've been to always have these weird, quirky decorations that make absolutely no sense. Um, so for this cottage, I decided to do the same thing. But when I came to that conclusion, I was sort of like halfway through doing this cottage. So you see a lot more of them being added in towards the end of the build, and there's some of them that I put in that you don't see me doing because I do it off screen. Mainly because I was like, oh, let's just try this out. I have no idea if it's going to look good or not. So let's just do it off screen. If it looks good, whoopsie doopsie. If it don't look good, oh well. But it actually looked quite good. And some of these bits and pieces, like these quirky bits and pieces, I put them in the hallway. So in the hallway, there is space for like a side table, but instead of putting it down a side table, I put in a bench, and then I use the Strangerville car light thing, and that's just very weird. I don't think a lot of people use it, so I thought that's perfect. Let's put that down onto the bench. And so there's lots of things like that throughout the build. I think a lot of them you don't see me put in, but they are there. So this is the kitchen, and I spent so long in trying to find this like twiggy decoration that comes in this milk tin jug thing, and I swear it was in the dine out pack and it wasn't there. And so I tried to type in twig into the search bar. It wasn't there because I don't think it's called twig. I don't think the name has twig in it, and so therefore the search option was redundant. And I was like, oh, where is it? It will look so good in this build along with other milk tins. That will look so good. I finally eventually found it, and I remember saying on Twitter saying that it's so annoying that some of the items that we have in the game have some of these obscure names. I mean, they're quite funny, but when you're trying to find an object in the game and you're not too sure what it's called, and so you just think, okay, what are the properties of this item that I'm looking for? In my case, it was Twiggy. So I just typed in Twiggy and it didn't pop up. Eventually I found it, but I've come across that problem before in the past. I'm like, oh, this looks so good, but I can't find it because it has such an obscure name. But here I'm doing the dining room area. I thought there was enough space to put a dining table in this bit of the kitchen, because I was going to have the dining room in the extension or the conservatory area, because the 16th century Worcestershire property that this is based on, they have their dining room out in the conservatory area, and so that's what I was going to do. But because I had space in the kitchen, I decided to put the dining room there. Had a lot of fun trying to find a dining table. I originally wanted to have a round dining table, but mainly because I haven't used the round dining table like ever, and I wanted to use it for this property. I thought it would look so cute. And when I was growing up, my parents had this round dining table. You put the flaps down, becomes a rectangular table, and I just wanted to use it because I'd never used it before, but I didn't really like it. It made the space a little bit weird, and so I decided to go for a normal, boring rectangle table. But actually, I love it. I love the way it turns out. So this is the extension or the conservatory area. So this is the space in which the owners would have used as a dining area, but like I said, I had room in the kitchen, so I had like this space that I didn't really know what to do with. So I actually decided to make it into a second living room area, because the first living room area is quite small, and I thought it would be nice to have a slightly bigger living room area. Bear in mind, this is for bedrooms. There are probably like a lot of Sims in this space, so a bigger living room would make sense. So this is quite light and airy. I love the colour scheme and the design of this living room area. I have based this kind of colour scheme on a colour scheme that I've used for grandma's bedrooms. One of the bedrooms that I decorated in grandma's place. I can't breathe, even though I used my asthma pumps today. I can't breathe. It doesn't help I'm speaking so quickly, but in this portion of the living room it's quite empty and there was space for something, and so I was like, what do I do? And normally when I don't know what to do with an area these days, I tend to make them into like a knitting nook, which is what I did here. So I put down like a rocking chair, a little knitting box. But I had another problem in my hands, and so I moved on to that problem. And that problem was lighting this area, because this is basically a glass box. We have glass windows and we have a glass ceiling, which means it's very hard to light up the area. And wall lights were not going to do it. It's not going to light it up as much as I wanted to be lit up. And so I had to figure out a solution to that problem. Now, the 16th century Worcestershire cottage that this is based on actually does have beams, and I thought, oh, that's great, because that would solve my problem. And so I put some beams in using some spandrels, and that allowed me to hang some ceiling lights, which allow this little glass box to light up. And I thought it would look a little bit weird having this glass like ceiling and see through to the spandrels or the beams, but I think it looks alright. Just don't look at it too much, don't look too hard. So here I'm just completing this little knitting grannies. Well, I don't want to say grannies, because my sister, she knits. She ain't no granny. She is 28. Although she will be 29, which is insane. She is 3 years older than me, and she's going to be 29 this year. That means she's 1 year off of the 30. That's insane. I can't believe that. In saying that, I'll be 26 this year. Nah, mate, nah. I need to forget that I'm now in my mid-20s. Let's not think about that. That's horrifying. Anyways, curtains. I had so many problems with curtains in this build. So for this glass box, because the windows are next to each other, it was very difficult to try to find curtains that fit, that didn't look clumsy, that didn't cover half the windows in this glass box. And so I just went for curtains that kind of look like you would pull all the way along the wall. So you just gotta, use your imagination for those windows that aren't covered in curtains, because you're just gonna pull them all the way along. But yeah, I had a lot of problems using curtains in this build, and this was not a build to say no to the curtains. This build has to have curtains. So some of the curtains I actually used the tool mod to actually push into the ground, and I thought that's a good idea. But you can't do that on the upper floor, because if you push them into the ground, they would push through the ceiling. And it was okay for the bottom floor because they're just being pushed into the black space underneath. And so I thought that's okay. So I did manage to find a solution for the curtain problems that I was having, but it only really worked on the ground floor. So this is the smaller living room space that we have in this cottage. I feel like the people living here, or the Sims living here, won't really use this space. They probably just use it as a way or means of getting from the kitchen to the front door. It's like a massive hallway for them, because my family have the very similar issue. We have like 2 living rooms, but the first living room we just use it as like a massive hallway. We just walk in, we just like walk through it, don't really use it. So I have a funny feeling this is what it might be used for, but it could be also used for those serious talks with your principal, or when you're having a quick coffee with your colleague and you just invited them in for a quick coffee, and that's where you would sit down. You wouldn't go to the family living room, you would just sit in this living room. It's a little bit more aged, if you want to call it. It's a bit more oldie-woldy compared to the living room in the conservatory. But I think it still suits the build, and I really quite like it. It's a little bit more smaller, so a little bit more cozier. But yeah, so this is the second living room. There is only one sofa, an armchair, a footstool type thingamabob, a grandfather clock, a bar, a little bar. I'm always adding that because it's like you sit down, it's fire crackling, you got scotch on the rocks, and you're just enjoying your little drinky poos in your little cozy living room that not many people use, but you're using it, so you feel great. Laundry room. So this is the laundry room. I love this laundry room. I also love like I said, the layout, and I love that you can get to this laundry room via the kitchen, because normally we would, for like washing machines, we wouldn't have a laundry room. We don't have space for laundry rooms. So we would normally have our washing machines and tumble dryers, which are normally a combo in one machine, in our kitchens. And I remember reading a BuzzFeed article of a bunch of Americans realizing that we keep our washing machines in our kitchen, and they were like, ew, why would you do that? Dragging your dirty clothes to your clean kitchen where food is kept. Like, ew! I mean, like, well, you drag your dirty clothes through the streets of like New York. What's the difference? But yeah, we don't find it odd, and so a laundry room would be very odd or rare in a cottage or like a English property. So I'm doing this study area, which again is an odd thing to have in a English property, mainly because there is no space for it. But you do get English properties that do have studies. We normally find them in bigger homes. So like a little cottage like this, perhaps not. But I had room for it, so I thought, why not, shall we? These people extended somehow. They extended the property at some point. So I decided to make my own desk. I did that by using an actual desk, plopping the computer on top, shlank it down to an invisible size, using the tool mod, and doing some decorations. I know the sort of like cow plant thing looks a little bit odd, but I like the cow plant thingamabob, and I don't know what else to put on there because there are a lot of books in this property, or just dotted around the place, and there are more books on this. I just needed something to go next to the books, and I like I said, I like the cow thingy. And so I put some boxes underneath the what's it called? Not shelf. It is a shelf. I put some boxes underneath the shelf just to use that space a little bit, because there was a bit big empty space underneath. I took so long trying to figure out the colours of this study, because like I said, perhaps this is an extension. The outside is actually covered in stone and not the cladding, like the Tudor-esque cladding. So perhaps this is an extension, which is why there is a study in this property. But I had no idea what the colour scheme would be in here, so I took so long to figure that out. So instead of trying to, because it was very messy, I did it all very messily, it wasn't looking good, all sped up in a video, so I decided to cut it out. But in the end, I think I just went for stone and a nice light brown colour. So in this room here, I decided to decorate it in the exact same style that I had decorated my sister's spare bedroom. So over the month of December, I decided to, my family and myself decided to redecorate my sister's spare bedroom, and it had to be all done and ready to go by Christmas. And so I really wanted a feature wall in the spare bedroom, and I really wanted to do this modern wall cladding paneling that I've seen like loads on like Pinterest and Instagram, and I really wanted to do it for my sister's spare bedroom. The thing was, trying to do it this way, the way I'm doing it in The Sims 4 using the wood pieces, it's quite expensive, and we were trying to do it on a budget, and so I decided to go for the exact same pattern but on a wallpaper. And it was my first time wallpapering with my dad, and I didn't want to say anything because it took so long to do, but it turns out the wallpaper is actually light grey, and I was like, why does it look light grey when I ordered white? And so I looked at the order confirmation and the little bit of paper that comes in the box. It says white, and yet it does not look white, it looks light grey. And so I'm slightly pied off about the fact that it is actually light grey and not white, because it was very expensive wallpaper. It was £22 per roll, and we needed 2 of them, so it's £44 of featured wallpaper, and it is light grey. But what I did here in The Sims 4 is what you're supposed to do, but like I said, it's way too expensive. So in The Sims 4, I just basically grabbed these wooden blocks and rotated them to create this modern farmy wood paneling that I've seen absolutely everywhere. And the light brown colour that I have in this room is actually the exact same colour that I have put in my sister's spare bedroom. It's exactly the same colour, and yeah, I just basically used my sister's spare bedroom and how I decorated that and used it for this bedroom, and it's pretty much the same. It says the difference is that the Sims 4 version has lights coming from the feature wall. The bed is different. We have carpet instead of wood. There's no rug. So basically the feature wall, the paint and the bedside tables is the same. The rest is different for the Sims 4. So this is the ensuite to this bathroom. Every single bathroom in this property, it looks exactly the same. I thought it would be nice to show you how I do bathrooms, because normally I wouldn't. But since it was like literally next door, I thought, well, why not? Shall we? Let's go for it. So normally I would put down something from Spa Day. I like to call the Spa Day pack the bathroom pack, because I'm always using the decorative objects from Spa Day in the bathrooms. And I know the lotus flower and the green thing are both like incense holders, but in my mind the lotus flower is actually a scented candle, and the green thing is in like a incense holder. So this here, again, I am doing like a feature wall / headboard using these panels or blocks from Cottage Living, and I have sunk some of these blocks further into the wall, and right now I'm just darkening some of these panels that are sunk into the wall just to give them a little bit of depth, and the other panels are more sticking out slightly, and I will colour the rest of them slightly lighter. And then I top this sort of like feature wall or headboard with some shelves, because again, this is something I've seen a lot on Pinterest and Instagram. And since we had this random wood plank, when I first saw it, I was like, why the heck did they give us this, huh? They could have given us something else, but no, they tried to give us a wooden plank. What's this? What do we use this for? Actually, you can use it for quite a lot of things. I've seen a lot of simmers use it in different ways, in like roof detailing. I've seen one simmer use it as like a circular cubby bed thing. It's way better than I'm describing it. Absolutely brilliant looking. But I've seen so many people use it in so many different ways. And I'm just decorating around this feature wall headboard thing, and putting down some plants. I were using these long dangly lights, because ever since I did my what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. It's the beach house one, where I follow the 2021 interior trends, and there was a lot of like dangly long lights by your bed instead of like a bedside lamp. And so I decided to use that here because I thought that would look great. Just filling that little pop out with the chest of drawers and some claws. They needed some artwork on the other side of the wall, so we have some weird quirky cat painting in a car. Again, I thought that fit into that weird "why is it here" that cottages do. So that's trying to fill that part out. So this is the teenager's bedroom. I had a lot of fun doing this. I didn't really know how to decorate the teenager's bedroom, so I went onto Pinterest and found that a lot of the teenagers' bedrooms that I was seeing were using this like tufted headboard. And I thought, oh, I can recreate that using a sofa and the Seasons bed that doesn't really have a headboard. It has a headboard, but you can't really see it because of all the pillows. But using a sofa and tucking it behind those pillows kind of make it look like a headboard. This is something I have done in the past. It's just I haven't done it in a while, and I think it looks great. And your Sims can use the bed. Your Sims have no problems with the sofa. They use the bed as normal, so don't worry about that. It's fully functional. I love the pops of blue that I put in this bedroom with the lights and the decorative objects and the little journal there. That's from Parenthood. Your Sims can write in that. It's the only interactive thing that the teens have, because the teens don't really have much to do, but that's like a little thing that I would normally put down in teens' bedrooms because, again, teens don't have much to do. So at least they can write in the journal. That wardrobe there, that is my new favourite freestanding wardrobe, because you might have seen that I use a lot of chest of drawers in my rooms whenever I'm decorating bedrooms. I don't use freestanding wardrobes just because I feel like they're very stylised. Even the CC one that we got last year that came in base game, I thought because it's quite modern, I don't use it. It's lovely, but because it's modern, I don't use it. But this one, I believe it came in the toddlers pack, and it has a white swatch, which is brilliant. So next to that, put down a chair, put some clothes in it, because teenagers can never hang up their clothes. I myself have clothes on the floor, so I thought that was great. I'm now doing the kids' bedroom, so instead of just putting a bed, bedside table, book stand and a chair in there, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and so I decided to cover the bunk beds using these outdoor retreat benches and rotating them and making them smaller using the tool mod, just to make it a bit more ooh looking. But in saying that, I have no idea if it's actually usable or not. I have no idea if Sims can actually get in there without going do liage. I have absolutely no idea. I just know it looks cool. So this inspiration came from Pinterest. It looks so cute. It was a Bambi bedroom, and I thought, oh, I gotta do that. My one, it's cute. It's just not that cute. Not as cute as the one I saw on Pinterest, because this one looks very lumberjacky, which is great. It's fine. It's just the picture was so cute, and this one's just kind of missed the mark a little bit. It's so lumberjacky. It's the bed frame. I hate the base game bed frame, but I had to use it because the other one was arched. I had like an arched metal bed frame. I couldn't use that. But why do we have an ugly bedspread? Ugh. Can we just change them, please? Like a base game update. That'd be great, thanks. But this is where I'm going to leave you, so thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. So thank you and goodbye.